Okay, since starting legendary group Culture Club in 1981, he has released a total of 6 studio albums.
19, that can't be right. It can't be right. 1981. He's got his hands on some of the greatest accolades in the music industry, including 3 Brits, 2 Q Awards and 1 Grammy.
Yeah, the legendary singer has also written some of the greatest pop songs of all time, including the one you can hear now, Karma Chameleon, also Do You Really Want to Hurt Me, Time, and many, many more.
Yep, and this summer he will be playing a series of exclusive outdoor shows across the UK with Culture Club. It's a very, very good morning and a warm welcome to the legend of pop, Boy George. How are you this morning?
Good, thanks. Yeah, I'm glad I dressed up and everyone else is wearing hats.
I wish I brought my hat in.
I've got to say, the first thing I've got to say, mate, thanks for coming in. 1981, that's actively depressed me. Where's that gone?
Yeah, and you know, it's funny, we think back, you know, to when you start doing this and, you know, you don't imagine all these years later that you'll actually be talking about, you know, it as a career. Because I was a punk, so I came from punk into what was Euromantic, and then it was like, careers, who wants a career? It was like, ugh. You know, the idea of sort of working for a living was one of the reasons why I got into rock and roll, because it felt like the closest I could get to self-employment, you know.
Well, I've got to say to you, I was a punk myself, so I want to know who you're into as a punk, and has there ever been a bigger transformation in the music scene going from punk to Euromantic?
Well, not really.
Is that Susie Sue?
Susie. I was a kind of listen, the Bowie haircut was really a punk haircut with just a bit of a mullet.
Yeah.
If you cut it up and then spiked it up, it was a punk hairdo. So everything in rock and roll kind of transfers to the next thing. And like punk was really, Susie was very glamorous. It was almost like she was like a 1920s kind of movie star with all the black eyeliner. So there was a kind of theatrical thing about punk that was, I think, what made it attractive, you know. And then there was the music, which was about attitude. Yeah. And I think the new romantic thing was born out of sort of Bowie into punk, that whole kind of attitude of, don't tell me what to do. You know, I'm 17. If I want to walk around dressed like a nun, what's it got to do with you? And, you know, we were kind of just a bit belligerent, really.
Tell us a little bit about your upbringing and what brought you to that point, because people won't know this, but a lot of people won't know this, that you grew up, your dad and your brother were both into boxing. Did you do any yourself?
No, I was dragged to the boxing club and I used to just roll my eyes and sit there. I used to sit in the car sometimes. But my brother became a professional boxer and got out before it started to affect his good looks. And my dad was more of a trainer. My dad really had aspirations for all of us to box, you know, because he always wanted. My dad was a big fan, you know. In the 70s, like they used to teach you to fight people when you weren't interested. No, you got to learn to defend yourself, because you know, growing up in Southeast London in the 70s, there's a lot of bullies. You know, you got a lot of people commenting all the time. Luckily, I had 5 brothers, so I could always pull that card.
Your protection. Protection.
Brothers coming after school, all that stuff.
But
I grew up in a sort of working class, you know, big Irish family.
Wow. For the benefit of people that aren't on the talkSPORT Edge app, so there's cameras all over this studio. There's about 5 of them everywhere. And if you're watching on the talkSPORT Edge app, you'll be able to see that you've come in one of your iconic style hats. This is a blue one with a spider. It's amazing, a Diamante spider's web with a Diamante spider on the side as well. And you just look amazing, absolutely wonderful. And you're getting out on tour. Just tell us how good that feels to be getting back out there and performing.
Well, really, you know, a band like Culture Club, we are alive. That's our world. Live is our world. We're not touring in the UK. We spend a lot of our time in America. But over the last 2 years, we haven't been able to move. Usually we do these great festivals in America, so we'd be touring all through summer. And we're doing these shows in London. And I have to say, I think we're better now. Because we enjoy it in a way. We just enjoy it. We see it for what it is, you know. There's no distractions when you go on that stage. First of all, you're stepping onto a stage where the audience is so full of love, you know, it really is warm. So there's no like anyone expecting you to prove yourself. And you know, you can play new music, old, we do everything. We hit them with the hits, we play some covers, we just like to surprise them, you know.
When I look back at your career and the incredible career that you've had, is there a moment for you that stands out where you go, I'm really proud of that moment?
I have to say, I'm always looking for that moment. You know, like, there's been many. Obviously, first time you hear yourself on the radio, it's the most exciting thing. And I was actually in Scotland, in Glasgow. And the night before, I had to cancel a gig because I'd lost my voice. Next morning, we were #1. So that's just how it goes, you know. But yeah, there's been so many. Obviously, there's certain people I met in my life that was amazing. Meeting Bowie, obviously, having been a massive fan when I was a kid, spending time with him. Sammy Davis Jr. I met some amazing people, you know, and I still get excited by what I do. You know, I feel like if you're interested in what you do, you stay interested. Yeah. I mean, I'm much more interested in what I'm doing now than I ever was, really.
Well, clearly, you can see the thrill you get from touring and playing live. Away from it, who do you listen to just now? Who are your two questions? Who are your inspirations? You've mentioned Bowie, obviously, and who do you listen to now?
I think I listen to everyone and everything. I feel, you know, I don't believe in this whole concept of new music because I think everything already exists. Anyone who thinks they're being new is deluded, really. I mean, you see Harry's amazing, Harry Styles, but he's being Mick Jagger. Yeah. It's total Mick Jagger, and we all want to be Mick Jagger. Yeah. So, you know, I nick some of those nits, you know, myself when I'm on stage. I do a bit of that. And I think once you understand that everything already exists, it kind of gives you this massive freedom creatively because you don't worry about... You let your influences become part of your writing process. You say, oh, let's make it a bit more Bowie. Because you'll always end up with what you've put into it as an individual. Your intention is really the key. But everything musical already exists. Anyone who thinks that you can plagiarise is deluded because everything's related. Yeah.
There's influences everywhere. And even if you don't realise you're being influenced, you subconsciously probably are.
Well, I think if you allow yourself to be influenced, it's a lot more freeing. Rather than pretending you're not listening to things. You know, I think you just go, yeah, I'll admit that. That works.
See when you said there, George, about you think you're better now and you're probably enjoying it as much. Is that because I'm relating it a little bit to sport? When I was coming to the end of my career, there was a fear of it coming to the end. So I tended to savour kind of every moment of it if I could. Is there similarities there?
Well, I don't feel it coming to the end because I never thought it would go on for as long as it has. So I never thought... my biggest fear is getting bored. You know, this year I've released 38 tracks during the pandemic. I'm doing this thing for my 60th, 60 for 60. I'm actually beyond 60 now. So I'm releasing music without any fuss. You want to check out my music on Spotify. I just released an amazing song called Emotional Instincts, putting it all out there, doing what I want, without going through the approval process of like, I'll take it to radio, let's see if they like it. I already know I'm good. If I don't back myself, I might as well give up. So I feel very passionate about what my past is, what my future is, what now is. I just love being in music. You know, it's just a great job. If it's even a job.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I get paid for doing what I love. It's insane.
There is a picture of you on the pitch at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea's home ground. This is in 1984. It was against Watford. Are you a supporter of the club? Or
Let me tell you about that day. I went on the pitch because Mikey from Culture Club wanted to score a goal at Chelsea for a video. We all had to do a clip. So I said I'd go along. They said, you can only do it if George comes. So I stood on the pitch when there was a lot of abuse. And I had a mic and I basically mouthed them off back. I went, you know what I'm saying? And they tried to arrest me. The police tried to arrest me. And it was only some sensible constable that said, I've said, arrest everyone in there then. They're just abusing me. It was hilarious. And I've seen pictures of a wig on. I got a black wig on. Basically, I was asking for it, wasn't I? Really?
What a story, though.
Stepping up to Chelsea in a spaniel wig. I mean, it was hilarious and it was totally iconic that day.
That was a better story than I was expecting to get from that question. I didn't expect to get that back. That is incredible. Oh my God, we've run out of time, George. We're not going to be on for long. I can't believe it. Thank you
Great to
so
see you.
much.
Say hello to Piers. I'm doing him in a few days. Tell him we're not having a row.
Excellent. You might even see him on your way out, to be honest. Amazing. Tickets are on sale now, aren't they, at heritagelive.net.
Yes.
And there are dates all over the place. I'm looking at them now. 17th of June's in Hampstead Heath. You've got 16th of July, South
Did I hear you in
England
Doncaster? We're coming up there.
Yeah. In Doncaster as well. Berkshire was everywhere. So, Boy George
you back up to Glasgow?
Club.
Some point, yeah. I love playing in Scotland. We played there 3 years ago and it was amazing.
Great.
Yeah, amazing.
That's the correct answer.
I bet you can't wait. And like I said, heritagelive.net if you want to go and get tickets. George, it's been lovely to have you on. Thank you so much.
I'd love you to be here.
I
know. It's really early in the morning.
Wonderful. You've set us up nicely for Piers. It's all going to go pear-shaped now, isn't it? Oh my goodness.
I hope he comes in dressed like as Carmen Miranda or something. I'm very upset.
It's 9:29.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods, Monday to Wednesday mornings 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.